Hi and welcome to Sea Sparkles Corner. Today we're doing a viewer request, and I thank you for the viewer request, called crab cakes. So I'm going to make a crab cakes Sea Sparkle style. There's a little difference. Okay, I have purchased 1.5 pounds of crab meat. Okay, and start with 2 eggs and a mixing bowl. Alright, and then take your wire whisk and mix it up. Mixing, 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 mixing. Alright, we're not making scrambled eggs, but we're mixing. Alright, now we're going to take, because we have 1.5 pounds of crab cakes, we want 1/4 cup of mayonnaise for 1 pound of crab. So then we're going to want 1/8 cup for the other 1/2 pound of crab, which is 1/2 quarter. So I put 1/4 cup and 1/8 cup of mayonnaise in there, or salad dressing, or mayonnaise light, whichever you prefer, but as long as it's mayonnaise base. And then
in advance, you will need space in your fridge.
Yes. And then take your wire whisk and mix your eggs and your mayonnaise together till there's no lumps. Use your wire whisk. Choo 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 choo. Both are cold, remember. We're doing our wets before we do our dries. Okay, you want it to look like this. For my son's advice, we're going to a bigger bowl. I picked too small of a bowl, so he says, Mom, you know how you are when you get going here cooking, you just get carried away. And I said, you're so right.
A little tip when you're hand mixing, go with the bigger bowl because to prevent spillage. Now,
take a small spoon, because you're using mustard, and mix up your mustard inside, and you want 2 tablespoons of mustard. Pick your favorite mustard, whether it's Dijon or yellow or whatnot, and honey mustard, whatever is your favorite. That's the idea when you're making from scratch, you're making your favorite. Okay.
I can smell the mustard way over here.
That's done, and I don't like to use, anytime I'm using ingredients, I always like to use a different spoon or a different utensil for each seasoning, because I don't know, it's a me thing. I don't like the flavors to mix. I like to get added things. Alright, and then mix it up again. We're slowly mixing up slowly making our crab meats. And you need to start this at least an hour before you need them. You're going to see why as we go along. Alright. Now, for good measure and for flavor, we're going to take a pinch of parsley. I like parsley, 2 pinches. 2 pinches of parsley. 2 pinches of parsley. And then, as those of you who've been watching me knows, every time I use an ingredient, I put it away. And then, oregano leaves. Or if you don't have oregano leaves, you can use thyme as a substitute. About 1/4 teaspoon of oregano leaves. If you don't have them, use thyme. Or if you don't have oregano and thyme, feel free to use basil, because basil's a natural sweetener too. Alright, so that's to giving it flavor. That's giving it flavor. Alright, you see we're mixing it. Now we're going to take about 1/8 teaspoon, or if you have a lemon, squeeze a whole lemon into it. Otherwise, I'm using lemon juice to give it more flavor. Because it's a fish, about 1/4 teaspoon of lemon juice. As you remember, we're working with fish. Fish and lemon go good together. Alright. And mix it well. You want to mix your ingredients well. Alright, now we're going to take, because we have, figure this, a quarter of a cup of breadcrumbs, or if you don't have breadcrumbs, crush some crackers, okay? Or pinot or something like this. But basically, this is what's going to hold the crab cakes together. So I've got a half a cup here because I have a cup and a half. I have a pound and a half of crab meat that I just purchased fresh today. It's fully cooked crab meat. All right, so now you're going to mix it up again. The breadcrumbs is just to absorb it and dry it on, because you want the bread to dry on your crab meat. Okay. Now, you want it to look like this. Now, if you want to add a quarter of a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce to it for meat, which you can, I'm not, because I don't want anything to overpower the crab cakes that we're making, because we're doing it sea sparkle style. All right, we're about to break up the crab. Now, there is canned crab meat you can buy that's fully cooked, but I wanted the fresh crab meat because, well, I like the best for my family. And I had the man there break it up fully cooked and break up all the claws and everything because you don't want any claws in it. And so he put it together for me. See, because the bigger the pieces, it shows the more expensive you paid for the crab meat. So I'm just breaking it up. You can get good crab meat for about $20 from your fish man, because this is real crab meat. This is the good stuff. And I'm not going to grind it down small. In the cans, your crab meat is ground down really small, but you can get fresh crab meat and have them fully cook it and debone it. They're right there for you. But if you want to get the canned crab meats, fine. But just make sure you, for this recipe, you cut it in half if you're only going to use a can. But this is the real good crab meat. I always get mine from the same place. I go to Publix and ask them to fix it for me. And they go behind the counter, and very helpful. But you get it where you want to get it, and if you want to get it from a meat and fish market, that's even fresher. It's more expensive, but that's even fresher. But you can get a good amount, about a pound and a half of crab meat, where I got it for $20. So I got it for a real good deal. And you see, this is the real good crab because it's big chunks. And you don't want to grind it down, because that kind of ruins it. Because then they're just going to think you bought canned. When you want somebody to buy into your crab cakes, you want them to say, oh boy, that's a nice big piece of crab. Nice big piece of crab. Now, crabs has a natural moisture to them because they're from the sea. So that's why we added the breadcrumbs. To be honest, I've never tried canned crab meat, so I don't know if it's any good or not. I've always gone the 9 yards, and if I'm going to have something special as crab, I buy the fresh. And I always get it from a fish and meat store or a fish guy and let them do it. Alright, now, because crab has a natural moisture to it, you're going to have room in your refrigerator when this is all together, and it needs to sit there for a minimum of 20 minutes to a half hour. The purpose of that is to let the breadcrumbs absorb the moisture. And you're still going to have some moisture in it after. And I'm going to show you how we're going to deal with that after. And thank you for this viewer request. We appreciate all of our viewers. And so I'm sorry this is taking so long. I was going to do this off camera, but David said do it on camera so they can see how much time and effort I put into making my son and me. And we're also having a guest a yummy meal. I made such a big amount of sauce because, well,
big amount of crab.
This is a lot of crab. This is a lot of crab. And we're going to have crab cakes. Oh boy. We're going to have leftovers. We're not going to be able to eat all this.
I
we're
don't
going to
know.
see how many.
Two guests. I mean, just me and you. I mean, we might eat it all.
Yeah. And I'm going to have a salad with it too. If I don't have a salad with it, I might just end up having the crab cakes because this makes so many. And I always wear gloves every time I handle somebody else's food they're gonna eat. It's just me. All right, now.
And I always try to use utensils whenever possible.
Two trains of thought I found in mixing crab. There's mixing it with the spoon, but I'm thinking of this like when you're making hamburger meatloaf, something like that. It's better to use your hands. You're gonna get better because you can squeeze it in. It's better to use your hands with this. Mix this. You want to make sure every bit of crab is coated.
Describe the process you're doing with your hands there.
Okay, what I'm doing is a folding motion with my hands like when it's meatloaf. See, I'm going to the bottom and I'm mixing it up, and with my thumb I'm separating the crab even more. And so I'm mixing this up till it's well mixed, till I get, you want to make sure every scrap of crab meat is coated. You're not making your patties yet. You're still in the process of making your patties. And then you want to get a piece of wax paper and cover this bowl in your refrigerator. Don't put a lid cover on it because you want some air, because you want to dry this out. You want to get your wax paper. Okay, this is well mixed. This is what you want it to look like.
Foil.
Or aluminum foil. Plastic wrap, yep, that'll be fine. We don't have one open?
Nope.
Okay. Get a piece of plastic wrap.
We got open foil though.
We don't want to use foil for this. Get a piece of plastic wrap.
I don't think we got wax paper.
This is plastic wrap. Get a piece of plastic wrap. This is going to be your best bet. Okay, this is a brand new box, so be careful. Finding the beginning. Okay. Open up a piece of plastic wrap. Okay. Cover it like this over your bowl. Plastic wrap sticks to the bowl. See how that works? Alright. Plastic wrap, this is your best for it. Alright. If you don't have plastic wrap, go to the dollar store and get it. Cover your bowl with the plastic wrap, because you want to do what's best that the crab meat's going to like. Alright. Cover it and see how the plastic wrap sticks to the bowl? Like this. Now we're going to refrigerate it. We're going to let this sit for about 20 minutes to a half hour. And then we're going to go to the next phase. Make sure you have a good spot available like that in your refrigerator. Don't peek at it, don't do nothing. Just leave it alone. Say, don't bother me, don't bother me. I'm chilling out here, I'm chilling out here. Okay, I'll see you in about a half hour. Alright, welcome back. Okay, it's been a half hour. And so then you remove your plastic wrap. And use your ice scoop is how we're doing it. Measure out the crab cakes. And get a good, so you get a good scoop of it. And I'm just gonna make sure it doesn't stick a bit.
Did you pull the stuff out of there?
There's nothing in there.
Okay.
Go back in there, okay? Alright, and then you're gonna take,
alright.
This is just for measuring the size. Then you're gonna take and shape your crab cakes. Being careful not to damage it, and we're gonna bake it 450 degrees for about 8 to 10 minutes. And we're putting it in there. And we're going to do this with every bit. This is just so that way they get about the same size. It's a large ice cream scoop, not a small one, unless you want to make mini crab cakes. And then we're using that to shape it. And you don't want to flip these, so that's why I've decided to bake it. When you bake it, it'll brown on both sides. It's just better. And so we're just gonna have a lot of crab cakes. Okay, and we're putting them in there, and we're cooking them all at once. We're using an 18-quart rival. Now, if you want to put it in your oven, use your pizza tin or a cookie sheet, and just with some parchment paper, and then just put them smack in your oven. The parchment paper will guarantee they don't stick. And you don't want to flip them because crab cakes can break. And you cook them until you see you know they're done when you see a golden brown on top. And we're just like having a bunch of crab cakes. I should have just bought 1 pound, but oh well. I figure if I had leftovers, you know, I'll do something with it, but might not, because we don't eat crab cake very often. Actually, strangely enough, this is the second time this month we've had crab cake. We did the crab cake salad, which isn't up yet, which will be up with this group, so we've had
crab meat.
Crab meat. We've
Not crab cake. This is crab cake you're making.
This is crab cake.
You're making.
The other one we did, I turned the crab meat into a crab meat salad, which is in another video, which was really good. And see, I made enough where it all sticks together. I want to use every drop. I don't want to waste not a drop, not a drop, not a drop, not a droppy, droppy drop, not a drop of it. All right. And we're not going to turn these. We're just going to cook them. And I'm going to check them in about 8 minutes. If they're golden on top, they're golden on the bottom, and they're done. So you put your lid on. And I'll see you when it's done. Hey, welcome back, and they're done. It's been 8 minutes, and they're done. And so, whoop. We now take...
Look at them things.
You see how beautiful they are? And... see?
Be very careful when you're taking them out now.
Because they'll break. I'm going to just put 2 on a plate for David. And he can have more if he likes. And these are all done. See how beautiful they are? Oh, get out the tartar sauce. I'm going to just put the rest on another plate. And then we'll do a taste test. Take them out, remove them immediately.
But be very careful when you're doing it, because they will break.
You see how beautiful they came out? Oh yes.
Just use the other plate.
I'm gonna put the last 2 on the plate for me. Yes. And then you serve. Okay. Now, just use a regular spatula. Use a metal one. Don't use a plastic one to remove crab cake. Okay.
Because you have to take that into consideration when you're cooking them too. You gotta use a metal spatula.
David pulled out bread. which we don't need bread. You want to make your crab cake into a hamburger bun with your tartar sauce, you can, or you can just eat it. For decoration, just put a bit of tartar sauce. On your plate. And we'll give it a bit of a taste. Delicious. Without the tartar sauce, it's still delicious. I'm gonna put David on because I'm starving. I'm gonna eat.
Well, they're patties, so that means patties means you need the buns. So it's basically time for an over-analysis taste test. Here we go.
And you see there's plenty more.
Okay, I got a volunteer, folks. So, there we go. Like it's okay. Now then, all right. Now you can see I want to prepare it. Okay, there we go. And I got some tartar sauce on the fork for
These are officially crab cakes, sea sparkle style.
All right.
So I hope you enjoy it.
Now then, I'm gonna try it like it's a proper sandwich first. Okay.
See how beautiful it is? All the colors.
Then maybe I should have done a slice of cheese in there too. Alright, now let's try it, just the actual patty with the tartar. Okay. I actually think it's better without the bun if I'm just eating, wanting the patty. Now, let's try it without tartar. I have to think the patties are better on their own. I'm going to eat mine without the bun and no tartar sauce too, ironically. Alright, that's my opinion. Yeah, definitely. I go with just as the patty. And this is okay and all. Then just put a slice of cheese in here. So here's my mouth so you can do the finale.
Well, thank you for watching. Feel free to share, feel free to subscribe, and thank you for the viewer request. We love all of our viewers and all of our subscribers. You mean everything to us. Thank you for watching. Feel free to share, feel free to subscribe. Enjoy crab cake sea sparkle style. Thank you for watching. Bye everybody.